afternoon, and thank you very much for being here, Pastor Uche and Engineer Richmond. We're really excited to have you here today because the conversation is going to be really broad, especially business related. I would love to start with Pastor Uche. Pastor Uche, how would you describe yourself? I know people call you a leader, a coach, a pastor. How do you describe yourself? Or how do you see yourself?
I see myself exactly what you have said. I see myself as a leader. I've been thrust into leadership from when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to understand that. And that same leadership in different aspects of life, in the work life, in my business life, in church life, everywhere. So basically, I see myself as a leader that has come to influence and to help people achieve certain things. I'm more into people than things. I'm more into grooming people. So yeah, I see myself as a leader.
Could you explain you being more into people than things?
Okay, people make organizations. People make organizations successful. So you can look at the work or what needs to be done, and you are, as a leader, you're just pushing people with, let's get this project done, let's do this, let's do that. I look at it, if you take care of the people take care of the work. So I'm more like grooming people, a leadership that affects you as a person so that you can do better at work. Because I've seen people have issues at home, not dealt with, and it can affect their work life. So that's why I believe that people get things done and get it done very well. That's what I mean.
Okay. Now, outside of those titles and roles and responsibility and what you want to impact in people's life, what do you really think of yourself? Do you think you're kind? Do you think you're friendly? Do you think you're good? Do you think you're chasing after God or just chasing after soul, irrespective of where they go to let them just be successful? Do you think you're a good father? Do you think you're a terrible friend? You sleep too much? Give us a side of your head of you that is not in public place.
Um, I just feel from a young age, I feel that I'm a man on a mission. I am a man that I've been training myself, disciplining myself, because I feel that I'm a man on a mission to achieve something, to impact society in a certain way. And these are the things that led to one of the organizations I run, Marketplace Apostles. Apostle is a sent one. An apostle is a sent one to with a message. So apostle in the marketplace is one that is sent to the area of business and the area of leadership. So if I'm a nice person, if I'm this, I believe that you should treat people fairly. But I also don't believe that you need to spoil people. I believe that everything we do in life, let it have a human face. I try to live my life based on what the Bible says, but it also doesn't mean that you allow some certain things. So, like access. Access is money in the marketplace, in the corporate world. Okay, like I have access to him. That access, we can qualify and quantify it. Because that access can bring you a lot of goodwill, financial or otherwise. But people can abuse that access. If you abuse that access to be, you won't have it again, whether I'm pastor or not. If you abuse the access of having to work in my organization, or thinking that, oh, I'm a pastor, so I have to forgive you in everything. I will judge you I will judge the matter based on, I have a human face, but that human face doesn't mean that you won't be sacked.
That's what I'm looking for, your human face.
Yes,
there's
but
there's a lot of corporateness to you.
Okay.
There's a lot of being put together. You just made mention of the fact that you've always known at a young age that you're a man on a mission.
Yeah.
Do you think that is what it feels like a shield around you? And let's take church, for example, because you're a pastor. Do you think people are really comfortable to come to you and just, feel easy around you?
No, people say I frown a lot. People say I stay on my own a lot, and so people find it difficult to approach me, which might be good and also might not be too good. But it's not that bad, because it saves you a lot if you're approachable by all. A lot of time wasters will come your way. So yeah, if I say I'm on a mission, yes, and so I don't have much time to waste on things. That there's a place I'm going, and I'm grooming myself for that place. Each day I want to be better. Today is Tuesday. I want my Wednesday to be better than today. So I try to push myself to be better. So it takes a lot of discipline to be able to do that. So it might not be everywhere at the same time. I'm driven by focus of where I'm going, what I want to achieve. So yeah, so it just kind of takes me out of circulation, and I don't have too much time to hang around people and all that. Yeah.
I want to ask another question, but I'm going to feel like I'm overheating it. But if you don't mind, can I push?
Go ahead.
Don't you think, with everything that you've said, don't you think it's taken out that human face to you? Because it feels really serious, very focused.
A man is built for his race.
Yeah.
You are built. I'm wired for where I'm going. And I don't have apologies for that, because this is how I was created.
Yeah.
I don't have a social life much until when my wife begins to put her foot down. So what is my day? I read like between 5 and 6 books a week. I'm a public speaker. I'm a groomer. I'm a trainer. So you train from the reservoir of the knowledge you have. I have to read the Bible and keep reading. I have to read books. So I don't have that. The best time of my day, the best time is I'm drinking tea and I'm reading. So someone says to me, oh, some people like worship. I play worship songs when I'm driving and when I'm in the bathroom, because that's my best time, And so, but in between, like praise, worship, I will say, someone tell me, my friend of mine said, you don't do much worship, but I have the best thing I read. You see, I like to read in that paper. I like to read and I speak in tongues. Those are my best, So that is me.
Yeah.
Speaking in tongues empower me to do what I do. Then reading is also part of what I do. So, but that will cost you something. It must cost you. The anointing costs you something. The journey costs you something. Whoever is successful in what they do, it must cost you something. So this is the cost. And I like it. It's not a burden at all to be on my own. I can be on my own for 1 week. I don't need to talk to anybody I'm comfortable with myself. In my own, I'm comfortable. So reading, knowledge is my thing. So I am wired for it. Other people are wired differently. So that's it. Yeah.
All right. It's really good to understand you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Engineer Richmond, we're really excited to be here. I like your cakes. And I want to ask, I know you cannot see the cakes, but Don't worry, it's really fine. What made you wear this shoe?
Okay, I'm actually a very simple person. I have all kinds of clothes in my wardrobe. I have all kinds of shoes in my shoe closet. But I'm far more comfortable with wearing simple things. And what I wear is determined or is a function of who I'm seeing or where I'm going to. And I want to be seen as a simple person because I'm a simple person. So if I'm going for a corporate gathering and I know everyone will be in suits, then I know, because I don't want to stand out, I don't want to look awkward, I don't want to look different, then I wear what I need to wear. If I'm going for a traditional wedding or a gathering and I know I need to put on native, but since I know I'll be here and I want to be as comfortable as possible, so I decided to wear something simple but nice. So
Okay, I asked that number one because every day we make decisions, and you are a very successful businessman. And I understand that little decisions count. Decisions like the kind of shoe you're wearing. It is ringing in my head that even in your business, the decisions you make, to be as successful as you are, I don't think you make simple decisions. It means your person is different from the business side of you. Is that what it is, or I'm missing it?
you're missing it.
Okay.
A lot of people do not know this. You need simple solutions for complex problems. Everybody believes because it's a complex problem, you need a complex solution. So I make very simple. I would like to comment on some things that Pastor Uche talked about. First of all, let's start like this. I am not a pastor. I pray I don't become one. I don't want to be one because I know the implication of becoming one for me. And I know I don't need to be a pastor to go to heaven. So let's get that straight. I will need to use some of the things Pastor Uche talked about to answer your question. Even though I found a lot, I know I do. Even though a lot of people think I'm not approachable, but I'm actually very approachable. I am very simple. In fact, I try to open my life. I want people to come to me because I believe I have a lot to share. Simple things that can solve complex problems. So, unlike Pastor Uche that guards himself, that protects himself, I'm actually out there, but people do not see me. And I don't want them to. Only people that are discerning see me. And when they are able, like you, when they are able to sit me down, I am able to teach them a few tricks that I know. So I'm a simple person. I use simple solutions to simple or complex problems, and they work.
Let me ask, what was the simplest solution that you gave to a complex problem that has impacted your business significantly?
That is okay. That I will not say that is a difficult one. And Pastor Uche and I were discussing before the interview started. So the easiest way to be successful in Nigeria today is simple, to be honest. Most of us in this country are dishonest. We lie about everything. Everything. If somebody tells you good morning, you better check your wristwatch to be sure it's actually morning. So I realized if I'm honest and people actually find out that I'm honest, that I keep my word, that I will move mountain just to keep my promise, they will come back and repatronize me. And that has really, don't get me wrong, I never said I'm a saint. I'm saying I'm very honest. I'm saying if there are 10 people that know me and there's money to be shared, the 9 people, 9 of them, if we are 10 of us, 9 of them will unanimously say, let Richmond share the money. We know he's going to be very fair and honest in what he does.
So honesty is the simplest decision you've made that has significantly impacted your business growth.
Yep.
All right, let's talk to Pastor Uche. Pastor Uche, you empower people. You empower young minds, especially. You want to see people grow. What would you say is that thing that you see in young people that is one of the biggest holdback for them in growing as entrepreneurs or business people?
You see, the thing is, and I think it's mentoring. It's mentoring really. Young people feel they can do it. Business is one of the things that people just feel they can get into business without having any form of knowledge concerning it. You want to be a doctor, you go to medical school. You want to be a soldier, you go to the NDA, military school. But you want to go into business, you feel you can. So it is that overconfidence of I can do it. And there are some little things. You can be the best engineer. Let me just use a doctor. You can be a medical doctor. You open a hospital. You're no longer a medical doctor, you're a business person. Because there's a business angle of running a hospital.
Yeah.
I'm a tech person. I'm a content creator. There's a business angle to it. And the young people are not patient enough to understand that business angle. A guy came to me and look, I think you should go and work for someone. And they don't want to work for anybody. They feel they can do it. We're in an age where you say, let me employ you. Say, how many days in a week am I going to work for you? 1 day, 2 days. It works in some field, but not all round. There are things that you need to know that only apprenticeship can teach you. Knowledge can be transferred. So they feel they know, and even when they come after 1 year, I've had someone work with me and just say, I've seen how he does it, so I can do mine. Something that took me 20 years. You would think that within 1 year or a few months, so there's a lot of impatience and they want to just go ahead and start doing businesses. This is why 90% of past startups fail within the first 1 to 2 years because of this overconfidence. There's a way, every trade, every industry has a trade secret, and it's passed on because you were there. It's passed on because you were there to during tough times. You see, there's this thing we say in our local parlance, I cannot come and kill myself. But really, you have to kill yourself to know. You have to. The things that I learned on the job, I was trained as a marine logistics person. I learned the business of logistics. One day, it's on a Wednesday evening. I keep saying it. My boss from Lagos just came in. And this was about 6 o'clock. His laptop was having issues. He needed to transfer something. He just called me. He gave me his flash drive. And he was giving me, I was looking at me, and giving me, I was looking at me. First of all, he asked, what am I doing there? It's on a Wednesday. I said, I have work to do. He said, you are different because most believers, in quotes, once it's like 4 o'clock, they shut down everything and going to church. Is it that God is it that the God we serve will get upset if you don't go to midweek service when there's something else to do? After all, he's the one that gave you that job. So we have this misconception. And so he said a lot of things, but I respect you because you understand that job has to be done. Not going to church doesn't mean that you won't serve God. So he now gave it to me. He kept on saying, I said, sir, what is he say? I should go to this folder, I'll collect it. And he said, I know that you will copy this thing. I know that when you see this thing, you understand the business. And that was the business of logistics. When I saw it, I was, wow. You should mean all these things. This is what it is. If I'd gone to church that day, I wouldn't have gotten it. If I was not close to him, I wouldn't have gotten it. And there's some things, when we started work, there's this guy that he used to dress well. Very well. He will wear tie. It's only managers that are meant to wear tie. When you're not a manager, you're expected to wear tie without suit, or you wear a suit without tie. But this guy would dress well. So the MD came out one day and he was looking for his PA. He needed to go. And he just saw the guy, said, oh yeah, come and follow me. Do you know that he became his PA? He became the MD's everything. And after like 5 years, he told me he was going. And he has understood how business is being run. This guy is a big guy in Houston right now in the oil and gas because he had someone that had to tutor him and had to show him the way. So a man must show you the ropes. A man must show you how it's done. And these young people, I get frustrated because they learn 1 or 2 things, they think it's done. And when you come to me and I see that you're in a hurry, I'm not willing to impact anything because you're not going to be there. You're not going by, and when you talk to people, you can hear from their voice the urgency to start something, to do something, So I look at you until you're faithful enough to understand what apprenticeship means and what being an armor bearer means. Then you can. So this is part of my frustration. There is a business angle that you don't know about. Even though you're a good engineer, you're a good whatever it is, but you don't know what to do when local government comes to close your business. You don't know that angle of business. You don't know how to negotiate certain things. They don't come by having a degree. They come by having seen issues and solving those issues, watching someone, then you can even be better. So these are some of my frustrations with young people.
Do you have a different frustration that you think is frustrating young people in having a great business?
I would not target young people alone. I would target all of us generally. We are not, just as Pastor Uche said, we are not patient enough to learn. Just as I earlier said, most of us, a lot of us, are not honest. We don't keep our word. We just want to blow. And I keep telling people that even if you blow, that is, you become successful. You hit it big. Now, sorry for my language, but I think any idiot can make money. But it's not everybody that can keep the money. That's why you see a lot of people, they either deliberately or out of mistake, they become successful. And 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line, they go down. They just disappear. So I think it's a people's problem, not just the young people. And I understand what Pastor Uche is trying to say because we're at a level now that we're supposed to do what we call succession planning. Start planning to hand over to the younger ones coming up. And most of them don't want to learn. They want some that want to learn. They don't want to stay to learn. That is why you see, if you're looking for a good mechanic, is an old man. Looking for a good electrician is an old man. You only find a young guy that is good. And I had to ask my mechanic, I know you're good, but you're old. How come you come around to diagnose my car, fix my car, and you don't come with anyone? He said, the younger ones are not ready to learn. I want to teach them. They're not ready to learn. And then I won't say all of them. I will also push the problem to us, to me. Because it's not, I'm nice, but I'm not generous. Because impacting knowledge is the biggest thing anyone can do for you. Getting the access Pastor Uche talked about is bigger than you being given 100 million. Because I know if I should have a 5 minutes meeting with, for example, Dangote, I know I'll be 1 million times richer than I am today. So which brings me to something I talk to people about, including my kids. And I tell them that, first of all, the first hurdle to be successful, the first hurdle is, what value are you creating? What do you bring to the table? You need to bring something to the table. That is the only reason you will get a seat at the table. But it does not end there. How do you commercialize the value, that strong value that you bring to the table? Because if you don't know what to do, and I think Pastor Uche talked about it, that if you do not know how to navigate your way, even if you bring value to the table, the people can make it look as if it's common. So you need to, one, bring value to the table. You need to know how to package the value, commercialize your value. And eventually, when you are rewarded for that value, you need to know how to grow, multiply that reward.
Okay, I feel that there would have to be a special class so we can break this down. But for the sake, no, you did not. The 3 levels you made mention of, I believe that, well, it's only sound mind that can, decipher and know this is what to do. But the bottom line is that we need to learn to understudy people for a lengthy period of time. So we get their experience, we learn the ropes, we understand what they do in different circumstances, in different situations, and it's not something you can just get in a year.
Let me come again. Let me come back. Lengthy time is relative.
Okay.
Is relative. Lengthy time can be 1 month, can be 1 year, can be 10 years. As long as you are not, as long as you're not lying to yourself.
Okay.
Now, for some reasons, I've refused having a personal assistant. I know I need one.
Okay.
And someone that came close, a guy that came close to be one, I said, for now, I'm not ready for one. He said, why? I said, because whoever I choose as my personal assistant automatically becomes my boss. And he did not understand that. I said, because once you choose a personal assistant, you will vent to that person. You will discuss your frustrations to that person.
Mm-hmm.
The person will understand your reasoning pattern. The person will understand how you are able to come up with ideas and how you are able to commercialize ideas.
Mm-hmm.
The person will know everything about you. That is a special gift I need to give to the right person.
All right, Pastor Uche, let me get back to you.
Okay.
Let's talk about you. You pointed out you're a man on a mission, and you've known that right from a young age. How did you get to that decision? How did you get to that understanding?
Um, I um, I think it's the things that were happening to me. Anywhere I go, I'm being trusted into leadership. Everywhere, whether I whether I want it or not, it's just been happening to me from when I was young. Also being the last child of my parents, the last child. I have three brothers and three sisters, elder, older brothers and sisters. But I happen to find myself that I am always in a position where I am needed for one thing or the other. My father entertained a lot based on his role in society. So at a young age, like 9, I see myself. I'm taking the number of drinks, 10 cartons of Gouda, this soft drinks and that, because it was entertaining. And he was always saying, thank you for being able to do this for me, because the other siblings have gone to secondary school. So I was quite early, I started doing that for him. And when I started working as well, I saw that my manager after a while said, look, you're not a site material, because I was sent to site and said I had this I could multitask. So come. The same thing, I got into church. I think someone came to me and said, you be a good protocol officer. That's where the journey comes. So after a while I started realizing that I had this thing to now help people. I don't talk much as a person, but when I talk, people do listen. I realized that I I could get people to do things, even things they don't normally want to do, with few words. People tend to follow my leadership, even my friends, my peers. And I'm doing this, everybody wants to do that. Okay, so I started realizing that there must be something about me that gets people want to do what I do, or to be, dress like I dress, talk like I talk, So from there, it now, I now said to myself, what is it that God wants from me? So when I became a believer, it was when it became clearer that God wants me to raise people. He can raise apostles in the marketplace, apostles in leadership, apostles in business, apostles in government, and all that. So from a young age, I saw that sign that I could lead people. And I not just lead them, because one thing is to be a leader, another thing is that leaders need grooming. And that is my own calling, to groom you to become the best that God has called you to be. So this is, in a summary, is all the things happening to me. People trusting me with things. People trusting, seeing that capability in me, that made me realize that, it's for something. And that's where it all started from.
So identifying all of this is good. It's one thing. At what age did you get the clarity of purpose? Like, I'm supposed to train and help people, mold them.
I think it was in secondary school. It started. Because for me, I didn't know. It's in retrospect, right now we can talk about it. But at that time I didn't know. Um, there's this guy that was having issues in secondary school, and I talked to him. I talked to him. He wanted to change school, and I said to him, you can't. I can't really remember much of what I said to him, but he keeps when we talk on the phone. He said he finished secondary school because of me. Then there's this guy. His father was the head of this Anglican communion. He had a lot of trouble as a child, growing up. So in university, he wanted to leave as well, and I advised him that look, you can't leave. He ended up wanting to marry his. He told everybody about that. He kept saying it that he stayed in school. Two times it happened. Then he wanted to marry a single mother, and he came to meet me. I wasn't a pastor then. I'm not even sure I was. Yeah, I was just getting, but I was just getting to be born again at that time. So, but he asked me, he didn't understand. I didn't understand much too. I was quite young, but this was when it started occurring to me that what I say is important to people.
People actually listen.
They listen. And my friends, let's do this, let's do that. I'm not an extrovert. So the ones that do, but when I talk, they all turn and listen. And that's when it started occurring to me. I have something to say. That's how it started. Oh, so I actually have something to say. I became conscious of it. And that's when I started reading. So I'll have the right things to say.
At what age?
I was a teenager when all this was happening. I got into secondary school at 9, so it must have been between 9 and 12, all this realization, because by 14, I was done with WAEC. So at a young age, I started realizing all these things were happening to me. So it was my team between that 9 and say between 18. I realized that people listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, let's talk with Mr. Richmond, and let's talk about purpose and clarity. For where you are today, was it something you purposely said, okay, I want to be here, or it was just time and chance for you?
No, it wasn't time and chance.
Okay.
Unlike Pastor Uche, I never wanted to be a leader. I like to hide myself. I like to be behind. Primary school, secondary school, even in the university, I was a backbencher. And I always give myself the excuse that because I'm tall or taller than my peers, I should be behind. But I don't like to be seen.
Why?
I don't know. I just don't like to be seen. I like to. Now, to answer your question, I advise people a lot. But people don't take. Most of the time, they don't take the advice. I know most people are very, what's the word? Once they are decisive, once they've decided this is what they want to do, even if they are asking you, some of them don't plan to take your advice. And you see people making wrong decisions every day, especially in business. Yes, I've always done a lot of things. I did a lot of things before I got to where I got into. But I realized that I have eyes, I see. Honestly, the first time I came in here, the first thing that came to my mind is, how can this place be improved upon? I always want to, nothing is perfect. And a few ideas came to my mind because anywhere I go to, Nigeria, abroad, I look around and see, okay, how can I take advantage of my environment? And I like to share it. Unfortunately, people don't listen. They just want to do what they want to do. And then I decided, okay, let me throw my own heart in the ring. Let me do me. Let me show them that I don't just talk. And let me just say, I've been lucky ever since. I've been very lucky. So
If you use the word luck, then it validates time and chance.
no, that's not time and chance. Then I try to be careful with my words so that you don't take it as arrogance or there are so many things that make a successful person. The physical and the spiritual.
So we're going to get to that point. What I'm driving at is how you came to, because you seem like you are living your purpose. You're living what you were meant to do, to be a leader, to be a successful
I am not a
businessman.
leader.
Well, you want to think that, well, you obviously are because you're a businessman and you have people that look up to you for decision making and for a lot of
And
other
I tell them
things.
not to see me as their leader. Yes, I have a lot of people that work with me. They think they work for me, but as far as I'm concerned, they work with me. And I let them know that we're in this journey together.
Pastor Uche, that's what a leader would do, right?
Yes.
So you're a leader.
I don't
There's
see myself
a
as
thing.
leader.
There's a thing with you wanting to just take backstage. And the fact that you're pushing that you're not a leader is what's bringing that to my mind. And it's now taking me to the previous question that I asked. Why? Why wanting to be in the background?
I am not an extrovert. I'm actually an introvert. I am not good. I'm not a public speaker. I'm talking like this because we're just two here. If you increase the number, I start to stutter. I start stammering. It's as if but one-on-one, I'm able to articulate myself. I'm able to convey my message better. To be a leader, you have to take the center stage. You have to address a lot of people. So you have to address people. You have to be able to, you have to show yourself. I don't want to show myself. I just want to, I want to be heard. It's your decision if you want to take the advice. I don't think I like to be seen. But if you see me, then it's fine.
Okay. All right, let's get back to purpose. How would you say, or what would you advise young people that want to get in the line of business, but they're not clear on what exactly their purpose is and what their focus should be? I think that's one of the most challenging things for young people these days because they have the talent to do a lot of things. But what do we focus on? How do we find our purpose in the world of business when we can be a million and one thing at the same time?
Good. There are lots of, how do you say it? Round pegs in square holes.
Okay.
A fantastic public speaker like Pastor Uche wants to become an oil and gas professional. It will not work. Someone that is very good with his hands, an engineer, wants to study medicine. It will work. A lot of people are in the wrong profession. A friend of mine, a banker that studied banking and finance, told me, hey, Richmond, I'm thinking of leaving the bank. I heard it's happening in the oil and gas industry. I want to come into the industry. I said, okay, good. How much do you have? He said, I have enough money to pushed my way in. I said, you're going to lose everything. Everything. If you need my advice, stay where you are. You see, this oil and gas industry, people that know me know I know it. I may not be doing much, but I have quite a good understanding of it. But I know nothing about medicine. Absolutely nothing. I know nothing about, for example, being a pastor. I know nothing. So we see a lot of people deceive themselves. They want to do what they are not called to do. So to answer your question, man, know thyself. Know what is in your hands. What can you do?
But that's the thing. How do you identify? Because there can be several things in your hand. How do you identify the one to hold on to, the one that would most likely be your purpose in life?
Two ways. The spiritual or the physical.
Okay.
I used the physical. Pastor Uche may have used the spiritual.
Explain the physical.
The physical is you can get it if you really. There's a song called by Jimmy Cliff, you can get it if you really want. But you must try. Try and try. You succeed at last. But some people, probably like Dr. Uche, will isolate themselves, pray to God, and God will direct them.
For you, you did not ask God. You just knew you can do this.
I did not ask God. It's different.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I tried a lot of things until I said, yes, this is the way. This is it for me.
How did you come to that conclusion that this one is it for you? Is it because you were earning a lot of money there, or favor was coming there?
I was not doing it effortlessly.
Okay.
I put in one, I get 100. I put in 100, I get 1,000,000. I just see when you're in the right place, you will be doing things effortlessly. You'll be seeing results.
Okay.
Once you start to see results, now I doubt if I will ever retire, because I love what I do, and what I do is profitable, and I can see the future of what I do. I see it. I know where my industry will be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. I see it. So I'm already preparing myself. Sometimes I discuss with people and they think, what are you saying? Sometimes some people walk up to me, which one? Do you know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you said you were going to be here. We actually discussed this thing 10 years ago. As in, you shared this with me. I thought you were mad. You understand? That is when you know you are in the right place. Once you get there, you will know.
It comes with ease. It gives you results, and you find joy doing it. To summarize what you said.
You find peace.
Peace doing it. Yes. Pastor Uche, would you say the same thing, or you would want to add to that, finding your purpose?
Yeah, it's we all find our purpose in different ways, but it is like you said, when you get there, you find out that you're doing it with ease. What is difficult for people is easy for you. I can say, for example, when I became a pastor, one of the things pastors used to say, preparing a message it's quite difficult for them. They take a lot. It's to prepare a message, you have to do this, you have to fast, you have to, and when I became one, I didn't have that issue, because teaching, grooming, that aspect of me, I have that skill. It was inborn, so it is natural. Reading is not a problem for me. For some people, is a problem. Reading, praying, meditating, all those things. Research. I can sit for hours researching just one verse, and I'm not worried about it because it is who I am, what I'm wired to do. So, like he's saying, it's easy when it comes to speak. Anything that has to do with knowledge comes to me easily, and I'm able to do that. So when I discovered that this counseling, the bulk of what I do, it comes easily, and I was working because there are two things: a calling. Sometimes you miss what is my calling, what am I created to do. Your calling is where you have that area of strength, but your calling will not necessarily feed you. So you don't have to start from there. You have to start from having a job, but you have that at the back of your mind. So while I was working in the oil and gas, my mind was in training, in grooming. I'm thinking of an institute. I'm thinking of modules. I'm thinking of where I can do what I do. But I was working because something must fund the calling. Something must fund the calling. So when people say I have a calling, I just go in. You are called to be a preacher, a speaker. You just start. You will starve. Your family will starve. So I was doing that until it got to a point where it became easier for me to do what I do. So yes, your calling, that place is, you are gifted. God does not give you a skill, or God does not give you a gift. Everything God gives you is for you to profit. Everything God gives you is for you to become that thing that you eventually become. He's gifted for what the things that what he's telling you is what God has given it to him. The first time I saw him, I knew he was at oil and gas because I was in oil and gas. I didn't even, you called him. Nobody had to tell me he's an engineer. Nobody had to, because looking at him and having experience, he's built for it. So those things come easily for him, but it will be difficult for someone else that just wants to get into oil and gas. He's not wired for it. So if you ask me, the place of your wealth or the place of your success, God has already put it in you. I will tell you, go to those places where you find it easy. But the caveat there, or the note there, is it might not pay your bills immediately. So you have to do other things until you are able to fully get into it.
Just to add to what you said, I used to work for a company, a big multinational company in PHA, and then along the line, we're asked to leave. They were downsizing, and they said they are reducing all the managers, and then I left. And because of where I was working, I got a consulting job, a far better job a month later. So I was consulting. And that was when I started business. So I was consulting and I was doing my personal business. Now, I've now discovered that I want to do my business. In fact, it was someone, my wife in particular, that said, why don't you start your business? And you give this person this advice, the person is not taking it. Give this other person, the person took it, but it's not doing well. Why don't you go into business? I said, okay, let me start mine by the side. Now, let me get to, I was working, I was consulting, I was earning good money. Trust me, if I tell you what I was earning here, you'll be shocked. Nobody will want to earn that kind of money and leave it. But because I wanted to do business, I wanted to show myself that I can do it and show people that I can do it better. And I want to show the world what I was saying.
Mm.
So I decided to. Now, how do you know when to leave? That should be a good question. How do you know when to leave? It got to a time I was making like 4, 5 times or 6 times what I was earning monthly. I was making some good money. And I knew I was wasting my time working for someone. And I knew I was blocking a space that someone else should occupy. So I left. Will I say it's been rosy? No, it hasn't been. But it takes, see, like I said, making money is easy. It's very easy. It's how to keep it that is the problem. And sometimes it's hard to keep it. And it's because of the business terrain in Nigeria, it can be very difficult too.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. It can be very difficult. So there are some terrains that you have to. I know people like Pastor Uche will one day, I'm sure if he has not preached it, we'll preach it one day. We'll talk about gatekeepers. There are gatekeepers that want to ensure that you don't grow beyond a certain point. So, but that is a discussion for another time. So you have to know that it's time. First of all, one, you have to make sure something. My job was financing my business. After a while, just like as I said, or else you will starve at the beginning. So you need to have a job that will finance it. Then after a while, you now find out that, okay, you are now doing very well. Your actual job is now a distraction. And then it's time to leave. And then when you leave, that is when you know if you made the right decision. Some people eventually find out that they made a wrong decision and they run back.
Okay.
Some people will continue and weather the storm and
it works out well for them.
It works out well for them.
I was going to get to that question, but since we're at it already and you've shared your thoughts, I'd love to hear your thoughts, Pastor Uche. But I'll coin it in this way. When do you stop practicing? Or when do you stop learning to start practicing? And it's not just when you have a job. He explained when you have a job, what time to leave your job to go for that business you feel you are built for. But let's talk about the learning and knowledge aspect of it, because most young persons, or not just young persons, most persons feel that they've not gotten enough knowledge to start practicing. They haven't learned enough. They don't have enough finance to fund what they need to practice on. So at what point do you stop learning and move to practicing it?
Well, I don't think you ever stop learning. My father gave me an advice when at some point in my life he said, it's only a wise man that can walk through a road twice. As in, you can walk and you can come back, you can walk again. He said, but a foolish man will walk down one path and can't come back. What he was trying to tell me is that where you walk for someone. Always live in such a way that you can come back, you can go. Even when you stop working for someone, you can still be consulting for the person. So you keep learning and you keep learning. One of the things we were talking about mentoring, there's this man, he's a multi-billionaire, and one day I saw him in a hotel early. I said, "What are you doing?" He said he's coming to have a coffee with his mentor. I said, "How can you be having a mentor? You are our mentor. How can you be having?" He said every month, the last Friday of every month, he has a coffee break or breakfast with his mentor. So this mentor was his boss at one time. And this is the man that more or less like made him. So he goes when he has, so they talk every month, they'll just share. He was having an issue. Somebody was trying to take part of his land. And so he wanted to talk to his mentor. And the mentor called the minister for interior or something, and that matter was solved just within 5 minutes. So you see why you need a mentor and why you need to pass a road and come back that young people don't understand. So you never actually stop learning, even when you get to a point where you leave your boss. Like for me, entering into business I never wanted to enter into business. When I did, things just keep happening. First of all, there's a job that came, a white man, because I was into marine logistics, a white man wanted to do some certain kind of job, and he asked me, and we took it to the company. And the company said they don't have that money, they can't invest this money and this manpower for this job, it's too small. And that's what my ED said. So the guy now said, when I went back to the white guy, he said, no, I wasn't saying you should go to the company. I wanted you and your partner and your colleague to handle it. That was how I came into business. So I had over like 350 expatriates moving in and out. And when they are out of offshore, they need some form of entertainment. And so I take them to Budukatu Ranch as logistic manager. I take them here, there. That's how I started a travel and tours business. That's why I entered events. And so it was not, and I started opening companies even while I was working. So it was too much activity. I realized that I have to start mine. And when I started, I told my boss, look, I have to go and do this. These are the opportunities. And when I left, when that kind of opportunity come, they call me. I can still come in and we can talk. He can call me into a Monday meeting, come and share so and so with these people. It's not like he's paying me, but he will just say that. I'll just tell them the experience I have and how he can help them, and I go. So, but it has helped. It has helped that you continue to learn, and I can call up people and say, look, what can we do here? What can I do here? What can I do? So it does not stop even when you become your own person. So for young people, I'll tell them, learn to pass a road 2 times, because that's wisdom. And you need the older generation, because what an old man will see sitting down, even from a mountaintop, you might not see it. Do you understand? All these things is because of experience. And so this is my advice. When the time comes, you will know. The time comes when the activity becomes too much, and you can't keep giving excuses. You can't keep making excuses, and you want to set out time to do something for yourself. When the time comes, you will know.
So what I'm hearing is you never stop learning, but while you're learning, practice. Okay, so there's no stipulated time to learn and no stipulated time to practice. As you're learning, you're practicing, but never stop both of them. It should be a continuous thing.
It's a continuous thing.
How do you allocate resources, especially your time?
My time?
Yes, resources. There's time, there's money.
You prioritize. What are the important things to you? That's where you start from. What are the important things? I get up in the morning. What are the things to do? My to-do list. What are the things that are important? You start from things that are important down to the things that are less important.
This is making me curious about your typical day. What's your typical day like? You wake up in the morning. Just give us a breakdown.
I wake up in the morning. I go to my maker. I wake up quite early. So I take out time to meditate, to pray, to read the Bible, to pray, just to do. I need that time, alone time with my maker. Then after that, I meditate. I also need alone time to think about the day. I can do it in the morning or I do it in the evening. the night just before I sleep, what are the important things I need to do tomorrow? What is important to me this quarter? Like right now, there's some things that are important, but I have a book that I must finish before the end of the year. So now I have to allocate time for that book. I have to finish it. So it is based on what is important per time that you locate resources and money to. Yeah, it's just that simple. What is that thing that is important? If it's for business, what do we need in this phase of this business? What are the important things that need to be done? You allocate manpower, allocate resources, finances to it to grow it.
How about the people in your life? Because I want to believe that successful people find it difficult to like spend time with everyone in their life. So how do you allocate time in?
That's the thing. You also have to have
Prioritize. Okay.
You have to prioritize. You have to make use of the time that you have. Because I'm married to a career person that is high up there as well in top management. My wife, she's a regional manager of the South, and Southeast.
Mm-hmm.
So she's quite busy. She travels if not more than me. So how do we keep that bond? I'll give you an example. The best time of the day is when we're preparing to go to work. That's where we catch up on things and dinner. Mm-hmm. So those times are very important for us. And there's a time that we drop phones. You don't do phone for 1-2 hours. Between 6 and 8, no phone. You can shift it so that you have that time. Because we don't have that much time. We are busy people.
Yeah.
And being a spiritual leader, you prepare yourself also in prayer. And at most times in the night, I'm awake most of the time, doing the things I do. So you have to have that time. Like my sons, they're around, they come to me they follow me to walk. Example, you read the Bible. Now I read the Bible on the go. Thank God for technology. Because I don't have time to stay now to say, okay, let me read the Bible. I read it on the go in the cars. I'm going, I'm reading, I'm making sure, and so I can cover time. And with my sons, I have to find time to put them in what I do, and they're always there. So you have to prioritize. There's a time for, like this morning, my wife is not around. So my son that is at home was with me preparing this morning. As I'm preparing, he was there with me. We're talking about his plans and what he wants to do. Because that's the best time. I get back, we'll do dinner together, or we'll do lunch. I can say, come to the office, we'll do lunch. So I make out those short times I have, I make out that time with them. Because there's no time. I don't have time. 24 hours is not okay. It's not enough. So what do I, and I need to read. I need, in all these things I need to read. I always have books. So how do I do it? It's not enough. You just do the best that you can. And know that for me, family is important. Especially my children, they're important because I look at them more as investment. So I watch my investment because I need to speak into their lives and do. Yeah.
Okay. I would understand when you say you look at them like investments.
They're investment. No, not in the business, not that business.
Just to clarify that to the listeners.
I have an idea of what they can be. I know their potentials as their father. I've been there. One day they called me to a meeting, maybe like 5 years ago, and I told them who they are. And my first son, when I said to my last son, I said, you are the enforcer, because that's what I received in the spirit. You are the family enforcer. My first son came and said, look, this is your role. But you see, this man is gifted as an enforcer. Today, he just entered university, is reading law. And some of those things I say in form of you can see that he's going to enforce a lot of things in protecting the assets that we have. One was prophecy I received, and is being carried, is happening. The Lord said a lot of things about him for an example. So it's not for me to make sure I groom him along that line. So when I say investment, it's for him to become that thing I've gotten in my spirit that he can be.
Yeah.
That is investment.
Clarified. Thank you. Yeah. So, Mr. Richmond, let's talk about time and allocating your resources, time, wealth, and energy.
For me, it's different.
Okay.
And that's because I have a lot of people working with me. And I've been graced to have very dedicated and loyal people working with me. Mm-hmm. So now I can actually afford to travel for 3 months, and I'm sure everything is still fine. Don't get me wrong. I speak to everyone. I know what everyone is doing. I speak to our vendors, I speak to our clients, I speak to my staff. And I advise, most times I will say, okay, we need to do this. How do you want to go about doing it? Explain it to me. And if I agree, that's okay. If I think you have what you just explained to me is, remember, I'm very experienced in what I do. Uh-huh. Remember, I understand and I know what I'm doing. Because I also need you to know as much. I will give you the free hand to tell me how you want to go about doing it. If I think you have a superior method, I'll let it go. If I don't think so, I will share my idea. And sometimes I would ask you, I'll tell you, okay, I like your idea, but I want it done this way. Sometimes it's just safer to maintain the winning method, something that's always worked for you.
Does that mean you have a lot of time because you've been able to groom people to efficiently deliver, whether you're there or not?
Yes, I have a lot of time now.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
In the past, no. In the past, I was a coach. I was coaching everyone. I was mentoring everyone to make sure they see it from my point of view. And I will tell you, if you think you have a superior opinion, share it. Okay. Let's reason together. And if I try to be truthful to myself. If I think it's a superior opinion, it doesn't matter if it's coming from a cleaner, I will accept it because it's for the good of the business. If I don't think so, I will tell you, okay, that's a nice one, but I think I want it done this way. So,
it's interesting to hear that someone like you has a lot of time, because the idea we have about successful, wealthy people is that they never have time.
That's not true.
Oh.
You need to delegate, or else you need to delegate. And I even think I'm learning it at a later stage. I should have learned it. A lot of people don't want to release power. They don't want to release authority. That's not me.
So it consumes their time. You're able to have this much time because you relegate things. You're also involved in
I teach you how I want it done. I watch you do it. Mm-hmm. And if I'm comfortable, I'll allow you to do it. And by the time everybody, I make sure there is no weak link amongst us, because a team is only as good as the weakest link, as they say. So And I believe I have a strong team. I believe I have a strong team. So do I have time to waste? No. Do I have time for my family? Yes, I do. Do I have time for my staff? Yes, I do. Do I have time for my friends? Yes, I do. And I know how to allocate this period. And I have this mentality that a lot of people, especially my friends, do not understand. I don't even understand it myself. I actually shut down at 7 p.m. You know the way you shut down your computer? That's the way I shut my brain down at 7 p.m. From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., I'm at the top of my game. From 7 p.m., I just want to socialize, or I want to sleep, or I want to read a book, or I want to know what is going on politically in the social space. I don't want to discuss work, except if it's a life and death situation. If it's not, it can wait till tomorrow. I've been opportune to work abroad, and I see how people work. It's not how I teach my people that once we come to work, let us work. We're not going to spend the time that we're supposed to be working discussing football. Mm-hmm. Then at the end of the day, when it's 5 o'clock, time for you to close, that's when you realize you're not done with what you're supposed to have done, what you're supposed to have completed, and then you end up staying till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. You see, me, I sometimes tell my people, it's 5 o'clock, you need to go home. Sir, I've not finished. You need to go home. You need to have a life. Go have a life.
What's the most common question you get from people? What's that question that comes all the time, irrespective of where, when, who?
It's the same question. Everybody wants to be rich. Everyone wants to be rich.
So what's the question? How did you make it?
I want to be rich. Can you give me one advice or the other?
Okay.
But let me put a little, I may be wrong, but remember I started by saying I'm not a pastor. Whether we like it or not, we all can't be rich. Even Jesus Christ himself said, the poor will always be amongst you. Something like that. So sometimes I look at a crowd of people, and the truth is that some of them will be poor. I'm sorry. Some of them will die poor. It's unfortunate.
Fair.
And I tell people, they ask me, everybody wants to be rich. In fact, let's use the local palace talk. Everybody wants to blow. But you cannot blow doing the wrong things. You cannot blow having the wrong mentality. And the most important thing, if you really, really want to be rich, you have to be intentional. You have to work hard, work smart. That is all you can do on the physical side.
What would you rather they say to you if they meet you for the first time, instead of telling you, I want to be rich, how do I go about it? I'm asking, okay, go ahead. What would you rather they ask you that you think might be more meaningful to them than just going, I want to be rich, how? Give me an advice.
I'll prefer you tell me to help you discover your purpose.
For a man like you, I doubt people would think you have the time to do that.
That's what I just said. I actually have the time to do that.
Okay.
But I don't look like as if I have the time, but I actually have the time. I don't come to church and zoom out. I come to church after service. I say hello to a few people, And when I'm done, get into my car, go home, and go and sleep. And if I think you're worth my time, I will stand and discuss with you if it means discussing with you for hours.
Does this mean anytime in the future you would want to have an organization that is dedicated to grooming people as well?
No.
Okay.
Will I be helping individuals that come across my path? Yes. Will I be willing to do that? Yes. But will I be willing to do what you just said? I don't think.
Because you'll be doing the same thing, it's just that this one will be more structured.
See, if you bring in 50 people here, only 1 or 2 will actually assimilate, understand and assimilate what you're discussing. Most people are not listening. They have their own preconceived, they have the way they want to do their stuff. Only a very few will tell you, see what I've done. Recently, a friend of mine, I hate to say this, but a friend of mine said, I've done a lot of things. I've failed. Richmond, advise me. Then I know those are the kind of people I want to talk to. I don't just want to gather people and start talking to them because most of them are not listening. They are hearing you, but they are not listening. I need someone that will go home and actually meditate on everything I've said, word for word. My mother was a businessman. My mother was like 100 times richer than my dad. My dad was not poor. My mother said a lot of things. I do not, just like Pastor Uche, I'm even surprised. I'm actually the last in my house, and we're 5. And when this woman is talking, she blows my mind, even as a child. 1 or 2 of them, some of my brothers were not listening. No, they were listening, but they were not hearing. They were not hearing. Because the results showed later in life. Because I knew they were not hearing. I would sit down with my brother and tell him, see, this part will not work. See what will work. Remember, she's still alive. She used to say this. She was a businesswoman, sorry. She made a lot of money. She lost the money too. It was from her I understood that the main problem is to keep money. I can give you thousands of names. People that made money in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, that are poorer than church rats today. Yeah. I can give you names. People just fizzle out. People just disappear. You think they are chilling somewhere. When you see them on the streets, you will not believe. And for my dad, trust me, I learned some things from him. I learned honesty from him. I learned contentment from him. So I just joined the business mind and the contentment values. And that is who I am. That is why I know, people know that I can be a solid businessman and I can be trusted.
Okay. Let me ask Pastor Uche this one. Young people get the question, If you meet Dangote today, what would you ask? So I'm asking you as also a successful businessman, if
I'm interested in that answer.
if you meet Dangote, what would be your ask? Now, you're going to answer in two phases. You're going to answer as the person you are now and an 18-year-old you meeting Dangote, someone that is very inexperienced, doesn't know so much from that angle and from the angle of someone that is as knowledgeable as you are now.
Okay. The thing is, there's something I teach at business school, elevator pitch, and because successful people or people at that level, their concentration span is no more than 2 minutes. They don't give you more than 2 minutes. So within that 2 minutes, you have to hit what you want. So for me now, if I meet him, I'm just going to go straight and just tell him what I want. Sir, there's a lot of young people that I'll probably just talk in line with what I'm doing, which is we can help young people in this way, in this way, in this way. We can change their mindset. You're a business person, you're a role model to many people, even to me. But I believe that someone like you backing this type of project and your face is in this type of project, I think is going to go a long way to help the youth. And so probably we ask, so what is it that you have? Then you can tell him this is what I have. Maybe I can come around if you have time for let's talk. So, but I will go to the part of appeal to the side of his corporate social responsibility and to the Nigerian youth in the area of technology and agriculture. That's probably what I will tell him. But me 18 years ago, I'll probably not be able to speak to him. I'll probably not be able to articulate. I will not be able to articulate my words. So it takes time. Let me give you an example. Many years ago, my brother was immigration attaché in New York. And so because of that, they work with they work with a lot of DSS. Well, they have, one of them became close to the president. Let me not go into details, but he now said I should go and meet the guy, and the guy is going to take me to the president. So I first of all, I thought he was joking. So I called up the guy and I went to see the guy. And I was with the guy for 1 hour. The next thing, the president was coming. He just took me, lined me up. I greeted the president, and we now got to the chief protocol officer, who was like an uncle to him. So he now said I should tell him what I want. I didn't know what I know what I want. I couldn't articulate. There were so many ideas. I wasn't prepared. And it taught me a lesson to always be prepared. After that day, I was so embarrassed because after that day, I went back and I'm always carrying something on me that will show you. So I learned that elevator pitch that within 2 minutes, what can I tell you about what I do that you can tie into? So it's not something. Sometimes you learn from mistakes and painful ones. I had that opportunity. And what I now said, I talked about protocol, that I'm a logistic protocol person. And he said, that is on Madame's table. I can't do anything about it. That was the first lady. He said, that's on Madame's table. I can't do anything about it but what I really wanted, I didn't say it. It didn't come to me at that time because I wasn't prepared. But I said something, but it's just that the thing I said was off. So, but now I know what I want. So yeah.
Please go ahead.
So what I'll tell young people, anybody, You don't have to wait until you meet people like that. You just prepare yourself. You must be prepared in life. And so when these opportunities come, you just hit it. That's just my advice.
If
Yeah.
a young person approaches you now,
Yeah.
how do you expect them to speak with you? Because I want to believe that it's the same thing as meeting Dangote. If they want something from you,
They always say, help me in any way you can, just help me. And that is very difficult, because help you how? You must give me something that I'm going to use to help you. There must be something. You must be asking me for one specific thing. And if you're asking me for money for if you're asking for money for business, I will ask you questions. I'm not going to give you money if I don't know what you're going to do with that money. If you're asking, don't ask me for something and you don't expect me to ask you, what are you going to use it for? If you ask him, whatever you are asking me, I'm going to ask you. I want to make sure you even have an idea what you want to use it for. If you're asking for advice, I want to know more. I'm going to ask you more. And that is when I will find out if you're prepared or not. If you're not prepared, I'll give you advice and say, go and get prepared and come back.
okay, I believe I asked you that same question earlier. What you expect people to say to you when they come to you. Well, I would love to ask the Dangote's question. What would you say to Dangote now if you meet him?
Somehow, I always ask people that question. I won't even want to believe that is my question. Pastor Uche, I agree with you on preparation, but I disagree with you when you started doing your explanation. And then I also agree with you when she said you are like Dangote I'm going to answer her question, to some people. You see, the problem with everyone, people want to get. They don't want to give.
Yeah.
Pastor Idausa once said you get to give. The first time, you give to get, you give to get. The first time I heard it, you give to get. Trust me, I agree with him on preparation. I already know what to ask. What to give when I meet a Dangote, when I meet an Elumelu, when I meet an Otedola. I already know what I want to give them in order to get from them.
What would that be? Just curious.
Very simple. Dangote has a refinery. I know how it works. I know how, as I said, I only have 2 minutes. I know some of the deficiencies within that system.
That's where the preparation comes
And I'm going to, no, the preparation is, I know what to ask a Dangote when I see him. I know what to give him when I see him. And even if he says you only have 2 minutes, I guarantee you 1 hour down the line, we're still standing and talking. Because all the while I'm telling him how to improve some of the processes. I'll tell him this is what already exists within your system. So we have an understanding. For example, the refinery belongs to him, so he knows how everything is. So I'll point it out to him. This is how everything is currently. You agree? Yes, sir. He said, yes. These are the problems that I see. These are the ways I feel you can go about. Simple ways, as we discussed, simple ways of addressing those issues. Trust me, I will get his attention. He's not going to move an inch for an hour. We'll be talking. If I see an Elumelu, I know he wants to be a big player in the power industry. I've already researched where he is, how he can get better. By the time you are giving these people, remember, the rich is not used to getting. They are used to giving.
Giving.
And when they say someone that wants to give them something, you're different. You're different. They want to speak with you. They will give you their personal card. They want to see you the next morning. You want to be the first person they see the next morning. Before you know it, you are somewhere out there getting everything you want. But remember, you started by giving. If you do not give, you will not get. But everybody, if someone walks up to me in church, for example, and says, Mr. Richmond, I know this is what you do. Someone, I knew you, or I knew about you through someone, and I did my research and found out that this is what you do. Trust me, I'll be interested. And if this guy tells me everything I do, and then tells me what he believes I'm doing wrong, trust me, he's going home with me, or he's going to the restaurant with me. We need to talk more, because I want to know I want to know how I can better what I do. Trust me, whatever he asks of me, he will get. Especially, this is what I can do for you in the area of this, in the area of that. But young people will walk up to you, or some people will walk up to you and they just want fish. They want money. They don't want to. A lot of people do not want to. The easiest way to get is to give.
Yeah. Okay, that being said, let me understand how you both manage accolades. Because with where you are, of course you get loads of praises. How do you know which is genuine? How do you know which to bask in? How do you know which to just say, come on, get out here, you're just teasing me? How do you manage accolades?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, either of you can answer.
You want to go?
You go first.
I don't really place much emphasis on accolades. As you're just saying it, I've learned not to take it. Thank you, or this, thank you, but I can't even remember. I don't remember. I try to forget them, because people praise you for different reasons. People to get close to you, to get something from you, all that. Two things I promised the Holy Spirit: I won't take your money, and I won't take your accolade. So if you're praising me or giving me accolade for something that you think I did well, there's someone that gave me the ability, and I've already promised him I'm not going to. If you're praising me because you want something, you've gotten that acknowledgement from me, thank you, and that's it. So I really don't like it. So it doesn't really get to me at all.
You don't get any form of excitement when you're being rewarded or awarded for your role in certain things, because that's part of the accolades.
Let me put it this way. Of course, if I do something and if you're giving me an award of excellence for what I did, yes, I will appreciate it. I did something. But if you're giving me an award for who you think I am when you don't even know me, I begin to wonder, why are you giving me that award in the first place? Because of certain things that have happened where we are, people tend to think more highly of you or what you have done. And of course, you can read between the lines, people that are just giving you accolade just for no just cause, or they're just giving it to you because they want to get close to you, or they want something from you. I appreciate if you give me something for what I did, what I accomplished, and a project or something. I will really appreciate that. But if you just give me compliments because you just see me, or because you just hear about me, or this is what you think, I really don't put much mind to that. I just thank you, I accept it, and go. But I try not to dwell on it.
Okay. Let's hear from you.
Let me be sure what you mean by accolade is praises, praising.
Yeah. And rewards.
First of all, I will not allow you praise me. I will never accept that. If I do something for you, or if I do something that you believe deserves to be recognized, and you tell me, Richmond, thank you, I heard you did this. Say, thank God. So I don't have a problem with recognition, private recognition, not public recognition. And it has to be, first of all, I can smell BS from from a mile away. So if I know it's something that that I did, and you appreciate it, and you're telling me thank you, good, and you're saying nice things about it, it's okay. Will it get into my head? No. It will. I'm actually used to doing good to the best of my ability. So I get a lot of thank you, God bless you. I get a lot of that. But for it to get into my brain and I start believing I can fly, no. So that's never going to happen. And if I think I don't deserve it, I will stop you. I will tell you, this is not right. So there's nothing wrong in receiving thank you, recognition, but I think it's how you take it that actually matters, because a lot of people want to show their gratitude in different form. But you have to make sure that you do not respond in a demeaning way.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you, like Pastor Uche said, you should let them know that there's someone that oversees the affairs of men that even made it possible in the first place for you to do what you did. So anytime you tell me thank you, I say thank God. I'm indirectly redirecting you to God, and that, I know that's what it means. But that I know it enters, it gets into the brain, to the head of a lot of people, not me.
Let's talk about risk management. When you make certain decisions in your businesses,
I take a lot of risk, no reward.
so you just jump into it, or there are certain factors you put in place, there are certain things you pay attention to.
Let me tell you a story. Someone gave me a contract recently. Someone did. And there are many places where you can get that. Someone gave us a contract. There are so many places you can get those equipment, quality equipment. You can get it from Europe. You can get it from the US. You can get it from China. and you can get it from Russia. This was at the peak of the Russia-Ukrainian war. The price in Russia for that equipment, same quality as the ones in the US. The price in Russia was better, let me just put it like that, than in every other place for the same quality. And only, forgive my French, only an idiot would have gone to Russia. Let me tell you the implication. As at that time, the world, US, had isolated Russia. They had been yanked off SWIFT, so you cannot even pay them. SWIFT is a platform through which international transaction passes through. So if you want to transfer money to someone abroad, the person will give you his account and the SWIFT code. That's where it came from. So as at that time, Russia had been yanked off. So something was telling me, go to Russia. Go to Russia. That's a big risk. One is, how do you pay them? Two, let's assume you find a way to pay them. How do you get a vessel to bring in the equipment? Let's assume you get a vessel. How does your vessel move from Russia through, is it the Black Sea or, because just the way you have checkpoints on the road, you have something similar in the sea.
Yeah.
There are gatekeepers there. That's why you will be hearing they seize the Russian vessel, they did that, you understand? You don't want to know how much we invested at that time. We found a way of paying them through a bank in an Emirati bank, a bank in United Arab Emirates. And we chartered a vessel. And we started praying that the vessel should arrive. And the vessel arrived. When it got to Onochie, people were screaming, how did this vessel move all the way from Russia to this place? And it did. The reward was good. The risk was much. That was because the risk. Now, I will not sit down here and tell you everything, all the risk I've ever taken had yielded fruits. But sometimes too, there's something in the inside of you that will tell you, do it this way. Do it that way.
So your risk decision management or taking is based on the inner voice only, or just your emotions? For Pastor Uche, I'm sure Pastor Uche would say it's the Holy Spirit leading. But you are sticking to the clean inside of you, which I would want to believe is the Holy Spirit. But is that what forms your decision making?
See, there are times you find yourself. There are times you find yourself in situations where you don't have answers to. You find out that you ask people and they don't even understand what you're talking about. It is now beyond you. You know that this, I don't have an answer to it. I know a lot, but this one I don't know it. And then most of the time I speak to the Spirit in me, what Pastor Uche will call the Holy Spirit. And I say, what do you want me to do? And most times I get an answer.
Is that like 60 to 70% of the time?
100% of the time. 100% of the time, because I take on big projects. I take on things bigger than me. Because I always tell people, why spend my time on small things when I can spend that time on big stuff?
Big.
And remember, if it goes south, it's a big loss. But if it goes north, it's big reward. So you have to decide what you want to do. Now, sometimes my wife will tell me, she calls it gambling. And I say, okay, see. Let me go back to how do I allocate resources, money. So I know what I take risk on. I will just tell myself, see, this is much. But if I lose it, it's okay. It won't kill me. I'll start afresh. But I will not be starting from rock bottom. But if I'm successful, the reward is much. So I'm very calculative in how I allocate
What you're willing to lose.
what I'm willing to lose, what I'm willing to risk, based on, remember that I've done all my research, I've done everything I need to do. And my spirit has now told me this is the path to take, and I leave the rest to God. And most of the time it works. For me, most of the time it works. So do I take big calculated risk? Yes, I do. Most of the time it works. In fact, the truth is that it was back in the day that I was having issues. Some will work, some will not work, some will work, some will not work. But these days, I see better results these days. Yes, I take a lot of big risk.
All right. So let's hear from you, Pastor Uche.
If I understand clearly, you're talking about how we take risk and
The decision making,
Okay.
for risky businesses.
All right. You see, there are different kinds of risk, and but I think the risk we're talking about here is calculated risk. You have to weigh everything. It's the story that he made. You when you're taking risk, does not mean that you don't do some calculations, you don't do some assessments. But in life, you have to take risk. Everything you do in life takes risk. Then you talked about the spiritual angle. I will also tell you something about that from my experience. Sometimes you pray, God doesn't say anything. Sometimes you want to do something and you're praying and God doesn't say anything.
Or you don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything. So what do you do? What do you do? And at that point, because it's happened to me before 1 or 2 times, for me, sometimes I feel that God is, let's even see what you're going to do. Are you going to be wise with the resources, the opportunities He has given to you? Sometimes God wants to see how you will act. Then it's not about failing or succeeding. So you are asking. So at that point, you have to take a decision. I'll tell you, don't wait. Take a decision. There are some things that I have had to do in life. I prayed, and at that time, I wasn't receiving anything. And I knew that I can't keep waiting. So you have to take a decision. So, and those decisions, to the best of your ability, you do your calculations based on your resources. Like you said, you count your losses. Risk is about counting your losses, knowing exactly what you're going to lose. And that thing that you're going to lose, how is it going to impact you and affect you? Then you can you go ahead and take that risk.
So let's wrap up our conversation with the spiritual angle. What role do you think the spiritual plays in your life before your journey so far, where you are now and where you're heading to? As a pastor, I expect that there will be a lot of spirituality to your business.
It's simple, really. It's I think I discovered myself. I discovered, if you ask me, Romans 8:14. As many as are led by the Spirit of God, these are the sons. And when they say sons, it means male and female. And it's just that the Bible they had more reference to male things, but it's as many as are led. Who is leading you? What is leading you? All the decisions I make in life is because somebody is leading me. And when the Bible talks about the Holy Spirit, it talks about the Spirit from God, who is from God. So he's a person that is supposed to be with you and guide you to become that person that God wants you to be. So now, what when you ask me, I try as much as possible to lead live a life where I'm led. So I've gotten to the point in my life that I have this communication, I have this discussion, I know how to receive from him, and we talk. So it's easy for me to download the things I want and get back from him. It took a while though. Nothing just happens overnight, but I'm in that place where I am led and I am comfortable and I'm seeing results because he's leading. He leads me to people. He gives me, if I want to do business with you and I begin to feel this unease, I begin to feel you are talking, you are saying all the right things, doing all the right, but I don't have peace. I don't have peace within me. All those things are signs that he gives to you, whether to go ahead. So it's just, for me, it's not just about business, it's about life itself. And the greatest gift I've had is the gift of the Holy Spirit. Working with him, it makes life so much easier. And so whatever I'm doing, I still apply the same process.
Okay, let's hear from you.
So
The
what's the
spiritual,
question?
the spiritual part of your life and journey, where you're coming from, where you are, and where you're heading to.
Well, I always tell people I'm not that spiritual, but I'll be I try my best to obey the Ten Commandments. I try my best to I try my best in such a way that if you encounter me, I'll make sure you don't live the same. You don't remain the same. And if I know there's nothing I can do, I'll make sure I don't make your situation worse than when you met me. I I know our righteousness is like filthy rags, but I try my best to be a good man. I try my best to be a kind man. I try my best to make a difference to my society. I know there's a God out there, not because anybody says it, because I know I've had encounters with him. I know I've found myself in different scenarios where I don't know what to do. And I go to him in prayers. And by the next morning, I start to see simple solutions to what I thought were complex problems. So anybody that says there's no God needs to have his head checked. There is a God out there. Trust me.
All right, then. Well, at this juncture, I'd love to say thank you to both of you. I do appreciate your time and from your very busy schedule, you made out time to be here. So I'm grateful. And it's been a wonderful conversation so far. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you too.
All right. So